Hola, me llamo Coldemic, and that's really all the Spanish I happen to know. So, sorry about the lack of uploads recently, everyone. I got the sickest I've been in a long time, right about when I published my last Abandoned History video, and that sickness kind of rolled into Thanksgiving and the holiday season here, so I've just been really busy, but now that we're getting into winter break time and all that, I'm gonna have more time to upload videos. So today on Abandoned History, we're going to be talking about one of my favorite video game publishers of all time, THQ, and their abandoned office they left when they went bankrupt in 2013. Now, one of my favorite series that THQ ever published was Saints Row, and some of the things they left around is really neat Saints Row merchandise, and just some other old video game awards and dev kits. So let's take a look at these screenshots that were uploaded to Reddit a few years ago and talk about the company itself and why it went bankrupt and the abandoned office today. So let's get started. So THQ was founded in 1989 from the shell corporation called Trinity Acquisition Corporation, with the goal of being a large toy and video game publisher. So really in a strange move, THQ decided in 1994 that they just didn't want anything to do with the toy business anymore, and they decided to just focus on video games. So the company named after Toy Headquarters was now no longer a toy company and just a video game company. So to kick off the new millennium in 2000, THQ unveiled a really iconic logo. It's the one where it's THQ, it's kind of slanted with a red line underneath it on a black background, and I can really remember this from all the NHL Hits games. I was a really big fan of those. And the same year in 2000, THQ acquired Volition Inc., who went on to develop one of my favorite game series of all times, the Saints Row series, as I mentioned before. By the mid-2000s, THQ was composed of 11 internal studios, including Relic Entertainment, Visual Games, Blue Tongue Entertainment, Chaos Studios, and of course Volition, among some others. But by the economic recession in the United States and towards the end of 2008, THQ announced they were shutting down 5 of its internal studios in order to cut costs and try to better keep up with their rival Activision. So with these internal studio shutdowns and studio reorganizations in general, THQ decided to rebrand itself with a new fresh logo and a new fresh franchise with the Homefront series. The Homefront series really went on to be a flop. I can remember a lot of my friends just saying how terrible this game was, and I'm glad I never got to play it, but that really marks the end of or the beginning of the end anyway, of THQ. On November 13th, 2012, THQ defaulted on the $50 million loan from Wells Fargo. After this, they went into bankruptcy court and a lot of their core franchises were auctioned off, including South Park Stick of Truth, Volition Inc., the makers of Saints Row. Thus, that really brings us to today's piece of abandoned history, the THQ's abandoned office. This is based off of an article on Polygon from May 28th, 2014 by David Tack. In the article, they talk about a Reddit user who posted these pictures of the abandoned THQ studio with a lot of the dev kits and awards they won over the years. It's really interesting to look at, so let's see what we can find in these pictures. So the first picture we see is the main lobby desk here. It has that new THQ logo introduced in 2010 as part of their rebranding effort, and it's just kind of a ghostly reminder of what used to be here. Now I'm probably gonna get a lot of flack for this, but honestly I have no clue what game this mech warrior guy is from. You can see the gentleman to the left gives a scale of just how tall this statue is, and if we look at the second picture here, you can see he has some sort of I don't know if that's another gun or a sword or something that's been broken off from his left hand. That's kind of a shame. So in this picture from the abandoned office, we have their award shelf. That's right, THQ and their employees actually left all these industry awards that were presented to them over the years. Due to the quality of the picture, it's kinda hard to make out what some of these awards are, but I'm sure there's some pretty big awards in there, and if they were trying to show them off anyway. So it's just kinda sad to see their entire history just left behind like this. So really it looks like whoever took these photos just got into the main office waiting area. They didn't actually get into the heart where all the computers were and all that, or they just didn't upload pictures for maybe privacy reasons or whatever. But here we can see we have some posters for Darksiders 2. I haven't gotten a chance to play that game. I assume it was published anyway. This is honestly one of the coolest things right here, is this big display case with the old THQ logo, But it has every game that they had published up to that point. We can see games for Nintendo DS, Wii, PlayStation 2, Xbox 360, and PlayStation 3. Just really cool. It'd be really neat to go and see that case. I wonder if there's actually discs in any of these, or game cartridges, or whatever. A very cool find, and probably my favorite picture that they have here. And the last picture we have here is for 2 games that were never released by THQ. You have South Park: The Stick of Truth, and you're gonna think, hey Codemic, that game was actually released. Yes, it was, but that was by another company who eventually released that. And then we have a game called Saints Row the Third: Enter the Dominatrix. That was eventually scrapped. It was supposed to be a big expansion for Saints Row 3, or Saints Row the Third, but that was eventually turned into Saints Row 4 with kind of the cyberpunk superpower game that did become. So this has been Codemic, and I hope you enjoyed this look at really the rise and fall, anyway, a quick summary of it, of THQ, and a look at some pictures from their main office that was abandoned, just all these abandoned posters and awards and all that. It's just amazing that all this is still there. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and go ahead and check out other episodes of Abandoned History and some of the vintage Polaroid tours, and I'll see you guys real soon.